Laughter rippled across the table. Not the polite kind, the guttural, cruel kind that feeds on humiliation. The loudest laugh came from Marissa, my husband's boss. Her lipstick was the same shade as the wine in her glass. Rich, bold, predatory. "Still clinging to him?" she sneered. Even my husband didn't defend me. He just smirked, eyes darting to his colleagues as if to say, "See, I told you she'd take it." I smiled, stood up, walked toward the exit. But at the door I paused, leaned toward the CEO. My voice was barely above a whisper. "I'd check your stock prices if I were you." Backstory. When I met David, I wasn't looking for someone like him. He was magnetic, confident without trying, intelligent without arrogance. He spoke about the future like it was a place he'd already mapped out, and I wanted to be in it. For years, I believed we were partners. He worked in high finance, I built my own career in consulting. We were equals, or so I thought. But the more his world expanded, the smaller mine became in his eyes. Discovery of betrayal. It started with little things. He'd forget to mention events until the last minute, giving me no time to prepare. He'd make jokes in public about my freelance hobby, ignoring the clients who paid me more than his yearly bonus. Then came the late nights at the office, the texts he didn't answer, the perfume, sandalwood and jasmine, lingering on his shirts. One evening, I arrived at his office unannounced, dinner in hand. I saw them through the glass, David and Marissa, her hand resting on his knee under the conference table. His phone lit up on the desk beside him. My name flashed on the screen. He didn't even glance at it. Shift in mindset. I didn't confront him. Why warn the prey when you can watch it walk willingly into the trap? I started paying attention, not to his words, but to his numbers. David liked to brag at home, thinking I only half listened. But I remembered every detail, every project, every deal. And one night, while he was working late, I began digging into his company. Execution of the plan. Step 1, I called an old client, an activist investor with a taste for corporate blood. I gave him a hint. The firm was inflating quarterly earnings, hiding losses in shell subsidiaries. Step 2, I built the case. Using open-source filings, leaked internal memos from a sympathetic junior accountant, and the company's own public disclosures, I connected the dots. Step 3, I fed the information to two directions at once, the SEC and a major financial journalist. Neither knew the other was working on the same story. Step 4, I bought put options against the company's stock, quietly, through an account David didn't know existed. All the while, I smiled through dinners with his colleagues. I laughed at Marissa's thinly veiled barbs. I played the part of the oblivious wife. Climax and confrontation. The gala was meant to be the company's victory lap. Record profits, expansion plans, champagne, and crystal chandeliers. That's where they decided to humiliate me, publicly, for sport. The place card was the final touch. I knew it was Marissa's idea. It had her brand of venom. As I walked out, I passed the CEO, a man whose handshake once felt unbreakable. I whispered, "I'd check your stock prices if I were you." At 8:47 p.m., just as the dessert was served, the first alert hit the financial news feeds. By 8:53, trading had been halted after the stock plummeted 32%. By 9:01, the SEC's official statement went public. Fraud investigation underway. Phones lit up around the ballroom. Conversations turned frantic. Marissa's laughter died mid-breath. David stared at me from across the room, realization flickering in his eyes like the slow flare of a match. Resolution. By midnight, David's world was burning. The board had called an emergency meeting. Marissa was escorted out by security, her designer heels clacking like gunshots against marble. He came home at 2 a.m., pale and trembling. He asked me if I knew anything. I poured him a drink, smiled, and said, "I'm just a gold digger, remember?" 2 weeks later, I filed for divorce. The settlement was generous. His lawyers wanted me quiet. I never told him the truth, not fully. But sometimes, in those last conversations, I'd catch him looking at me like he finally understood what I was capable of. And that was worth more than the money. Some women forget. Some forget. I calculate. And when I strike, I don't just ruin a night. I take the whole kingdom down with it.